Hi, today we're going to do something a little different. Today I'm going to demonstrate the act of looping, how to get started. If you've ever considered buying a looping pedal or using a looping pedal, we're going to show you what you would need to get started, the equipment, plugging in, and then making your first loop. So I'm really excited. I hope you're excited to get started. So first we're going to start with the equipment that you're going to need. Alright, so let's look at the equipment we're going to need to get started. First, we're going to need at least 2 patch cords, and the reason I say at least 2 is if you already have other effects pedals or other effects processors, you're obviously going to need more than 2, but we'll need at least 2 to run from the amp and then back to the pedal. Okay, we're going to need a microphone or 3-prong cable like this, standard microphone cable. These are great. It's going to eliminate the need to plug in and out or to use the instrument knob, as opposed you'll have a microphone knob, so you can separately control the volume using your microphone cable, which plugs in on the back of my Jamman stereo. Most looping pedals will have one, so it's a great investment anyway. Those pedals are come in handy. We're also going to need one of these for my setup, which is just a standard 1/8 to 1/8 is all it is. See, that's all that is, and it's on both sides. And I run that back and forth, and I'll show you what we use that for here in just a little bit when we're plugging in. These are absolutely priceless right here. And these are 1/8 to 1/4 and 1/4 to 1/8 adapters. Now if you're plugging in multiple instruments, another phone, virtual instruments, any number of things, maybe you don't have exactly the right cords around the house, this will save you money in the long run, open up a lot of options for you. They're just great to carry around, one of each at least. Obviously a standard 3-prong microphone to go with your microphone cord. Better quality, easier to manage, great investment. And then my iRig 2, an essential part of everything I do, and we're going to go over the details of that here in a little while. You can go to ikmultimedia.com and check out all their products. If you're a musician who's on the go, you're a big phone enthusiast like I am, wonderful investment and a great piece of equipment to have. The looping pedal of my choice is the Jamman stereo. I could go on and on about all the specifications, I mean the plugins on the back. You name it, this thing can do it, and I'm absolutely in love with it. Big fan. Digitech, great website to go to, digitech.com, and you can check out all their products and other things they have. Maybe what I'm using doesn't suit your needs, but for this demonstration, we're going to show you exactly how the Jamman works, and why it combined with the iRig 2 is how I do what I do. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Alright, so now we know what to use. Let's learn how to use it. And the method we're using plugging in today will give you the ability to have independent effects in each loop, meaning that you can have one clean loop, and then on the next loop bring in distortion without distorting your first loop. A great handy feature to have, in the ideal way, in my opinion, to go ahead and get started. So, I color coordinate my chords. It just makes things faster and easier for you when you're having to play somewhere new. So purple for me goes left out, which is located on the top of the pedal there. And then we're going to run that to the back of our amp here. I hope you can see this because it's dark, but I can see it there, the effects return, and we're going to put that in there, okay? Now, for me, once again, I color coordinate my chords. I'm going to take my yellow, and I'm going to plug that into the left in, which is directly underneath the left out. And then we will run that to that other little spot in the back of the amp, our send effects, okay? So left in to send effects, or for me, the yellow. So I lied to you earlier. Now we're hooked up to the amp and our pedal is ready to go, but we need to hook up an instrument, so we will need another patch cord. So that makes 3 patch cords in total, and we're going to put that patch cord into just your standard input on your amp. Now, I always start with a low volume, and especially with us looping, we're going to start with low volume, and we're going to start with everything pretty close to middle, and then we can mix from there. And it's always good to start near the middle, and except for, of course, our reverb level. Here's an important knob I want us to take a look at, and that's the effects loop mix. Now, because we're using the send and return effects, getting familiar with that knob is going to be important for us, okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start that at halfway, okay? And so now everything's set at half, minus our master volume, okay? So before we turn on our amp, we want to go ahead and we want to plug in our instrument so we don't get any annoying hisses or pops, right? And there's that. Trying to do all this one-handed, so bear with me here. Now, before we turn on our amp, we're going to need to go ahead and plug in our pedal. We'll want to look at our knobs before we do that, okay? So let's go ahead and let's keep our loop level at half. We're not going to play with rhythm to start off with. We're going to leave that down. That's more advanced features that we can dive on another video. We're going to go ahead and we're going to leave our mic level down, and we're going to go ahead and put our instrument level at half, okay? Since our amp level is already low, that should be just fine. Many people like to start with their instrument level all the way down and then work up. For convenience, I always go ahead and I plug in my microphone and then just keep the knob all the way down. There, sorry, I had to set that down. That's just a little too hard to do one-handed. So you'll see the mic input there, and we're just putting that in there. Not real complicated. And then we'll just plug that into the microphone right down there. And there she is. So she's all plugged in and ready to go. And with the mic level down, that just keeps it ready for us. We can turn it up whenever we want to bring it in or out. Okay? So, we're ready to plug in now. It's just that easy, guys. We're ready to get started in less than 5 minutes. So we'll go ahead and we'll plug this in. Once again, the power is at the top of the pedal. Right there. Now it takes just a minute to get started. You'll see the lights come on. You'll see it do its thing. And there she is. Okay. Now we will turn on the amp. And there's that. And now, when I strum my guitar, we should be live. And there she is. So now, guys, we're plugged in, we're ready to go, and now we're going to do our very first loop. Just that fast. So we're plugged in, we're anxious to make our first live loop, which we could do right now. But, you know, the next step that I'm going to show you is how to capture that, how to share it with your friends without any ambience noise. And what's that mean? That means that not using your phone microphone. So, you know, you got kids running around and they're, when am I going to record? It's so loud in here. Well, now you can record anytime, even using, like, say, an acoustic electric guitar, using an iRig 2. And you'll be able to plug your guitar directly into your phone using this. This plugs into your phone, and there's where your guitar plugs in. How frickin' genius. But I took it a step further than that on mine, and I'm going to show you how to do the same thing. And we're going to bring in that 8th to 8th chord that I was showing you earlier. Here we go, okay? And then we're going to bring in that adapter that I had mentioned, okay? The 8th to quarter, okay? And we're going to plug that in to one of these, okay? And now we're going to plug that into the guitar hole here. And we're going to plug this other end. I'm going to have to take my phone down to show you this one. We're going to take this down and we're going to plug this into the headphone end, okay? So now any noise or anything that would be coming, any sound that would be coming out of the pedal is now going to be coming into my iRig. And I don't know if you can see that there. There it is. Back it up a little bit. All right. So now that's plugged into the headphone jack of my pedal. Now, because this isn't plugged into my phone, it hasn't changed anything. And I'm going to show you how it changes it the moment I plug it in, okay? So, upon plugging this in, you will lose all audio because it's going to change our microphone to the iRig 2. But now you can. All right, so that is kind of my ulterior motive for hooking up the microphone earlier. Now you can hear me through that because we had to do that. We're using the iRig directly through our phone. It eliminates your microphone, and it also eliminates any ambience noise. So now I have my microphone hooked up. I have my iRig 2 hooked up, and we are ready to go, guys. Now I'm running directly to you. Anything that comes through that pedal is going to go right to my phone. So let's go ahead and let's make our first loop. All right, so now we have our iRig 2 hooked up directly to our headphone jack on our looping pedal, and that means that everything running through that looping pedal or through our amp is going to run directly to our phone with pristine quality and at the control of one knob. Very cool, guys. So we're ready to make our first loop, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the Bluegrass one, or Juno's Walk, and demonstrate how that was done, since it seemed to be a popular one on the page. And it starts with a D and G harmonic, which works well because D falls into G's scale on that song. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to kick it off. To kick it off, you just simply press the record, play, overdub button, which is one button. You'll just click that one time, and that's going to rig it or arm it for recording, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to set the microphone down, I'm going to start it off, and then we'll run through how or what I'll be doing next. Now, I've got the first loop established, and it's not going to loop what I'm saying because I clicked out of it. And we're going to explain why it does that. Your first loop is your structure loop, and it's incredibly important. So it's going to set your 1. So you'll click it to arm it, and then you have to click directly on the 1 to close the loop. And it's going to loop anything you played within that period of time from your first click until you click out. Once you've made that click, it's going to continue to loop it. Now, after you click again, that's your overdub button, and we're going to click that, and what that's going to do for us is it's going to continue looping or making everything we do after that. So it can build very quickly. The first loop is the hardest one to set, and once you have that, and if your first loop is clean, every loop after that's going to come very nicely as long as you're playing within its scale. So we'll go ahead and we'll continue to make it here, and I'll show you how fastly it can build. So it's not perfect, but there it is. It's quickly recreated and done again. And it doesn't take very long at all to do, as long as your first track is sound and you're playing within the song's natural progression. It all loops very cleanly, very naturally, balances the sound for you. I hope you all found this useful. I hope you all found it fun. And there's no post-video editing or anything in what I do. I'm doing it all live in front of you, and that's a lot of the fun of it. You all are part of the song creation each time I do it, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're new to the art of looping, I hope that everybody can get something from this. If you did, please share it, please like it, and thanks as always, guys, for watching. You guys have a great one.